Saturday, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Just doing our daily thing here. And today, it looks like we've actually heard from Warren Buffett. I don't know if you saw this, but after hours, after the market closed Friday, looks like it was disclosed that Berkshire Hathaway has sold a portion of their Delta Airlines and their Southwest Airlines stock. They didn't sell it all. I don't recall the numbers, but I think they sold something like 4% of their Delta shares and about that for Southwest. I find that interesting because I thought it was like 60 days ago, maybe, he bought some Delta. So I'm wondering what this signals. I was pleasantly surprised he didn't sell all of it because that would have sent shockwaves through the system for sure. But I find it interesting. Good morning. That the first time we hear from Buffett, he's a seller and not a buyer. That was very different than the 2008 Great Recession, where he was every time I turned around, it seemed like he was doing another fantastic deal because he was kind of the buyer of last resort, person who had cash. So I find it interesting that he is selling his airlines, at least two of them, again, Delta and Southwest. I find it odd that he bought those, and he has a position in the top four, because I think he has a quote years ago about somebody should have shot down Orville and Wilbur Wright, right? Basically, the good morning, Josh, the first two gentlemen to fly. So I think it's interesting, but that's we need to hear from Warren Buffett more. I don't know about you, but he just makes me feel better. Especially when he's buying, right? It's kind of a signal to me that we're at least close to the bottom. Again, he makes no bones about not calling the bottom, but the fact that first time we hear from Warren Buffett, he's a seller, it just feels wrong. You know what I mean? It just feels wrong because he wants to hold forever and all of those things. Next up, I think it's pretty clear that life after this event is going to be different in so many ways. I think one thing we should get used to is when we're going to large gatherings, think movie theaters, think sporting events, concerts. I think the lines are going to be longer because I believe they're going to start taking our temperatures and look for folks that may be fighting a fever, as that seems to be something that's being adopted around the world, and I think it's going to happen here. In addition, I think something that's going to be more and more common here is we will be wearing face masks outside. If you've been watching this channel for any length of time, I talked about my experience in Taiwan in January, where when we landed, I think I saw 1 out of 100, and by the time we left 13 days later, they were nearly everywhere. So a lot of the world is used to wearing face masks. I guess there's a lot of talk about how effective and all of that they are, but sometimes you just need to feel better. And one of the things that I think is going to be important as we start to re-kick this economy is we're going to have some confidence in, hey, if face masks makes us feel better and more confident to go outside, small price to pay. So I see that coming along. Next up, I don't know if you read this, but I actually hope this isn't true, but the way the article was written, it seems like it could be. It looks like J.P. Morgan pressured, and now pressured, I don't know what that means, maybe guilted, maybe, I don't know what it means, but pressured traders to come into the office. Again, they're on the front lines. They need to hold the platform together. But it looks like now they have 20 positive tests and another 65 folks in quarantine. So, man, this thing's highly infectious. I don't know what we don't get. New York is the spot right now, and that's going to be a problem if any of those 20 or 65 folks get really sick. JP Morgan is going to, this is not the end of this discussion, if you know what I mean. I think there is more and more call for a national shutdown. I've been calling for this for nearly a month now, and the reason I've been calling for it is it's going to suck, but it's going to suck the shortest. So what I mean by that is if we have a national shutdown, we can all get through this together. The federal government can send out funds to keep us fed and sheltered. And then we can start kickstarting the economy. Right now, we seem to be setting one location, one state at a time. And that's just going to expand this, because if you lock down whatever it is, 38 states, and the other 12 are free to roam, you've done nothing, right? I'm in the Bay Area. We were the first county in the first state of California to go on lockdown. We're now ending our third week. And I think it was yesterday, Alabama just went on 30-day shutdown. So this is not fun, right? The more states that come along later, the longer I have to be this way. So I wish we would have just said, hey, here's some money. Everybody stay home for 30 days, except essential services. And then let's kickstart this. Right now, it just keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed, because we're going to eventually get there. But, it's going to feel like a lot longer. Next up, it looks like these programs, I don't know if you heard about these. It's the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP. Bank of America was the first big bank to put it up. I haven't heard anyone else. I checked again this morning, but they had 85,000 small businesses apply for a total of $22.2 billion. These numbers were from yesterday at about 5 o'clock, so they're old, but they're the best numbers I have. I did some rough math. It looks like the average request is for $250,000, 250 grand. That's just amazing, right? So there are a lot of small businesses out there hurting. I'm still impressed with the $2.2 trillion bill, as we went right to the base. People, we goosed unemployment, and now these programs. We will see when the other banks come online, and I think it's pretty clear we're going to have a fourth bill from Congress. I suspect it should be focused on, again, the base of our economy, which is the consumers or the citizens. And what I would do is I would hate to create more programs. These programs were created fast. Well, I heard it's a pain dealing with everyone on these loans because there's no rules. Josh, it's bad out there. But where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. What I want is these programs. Let's not create more programs that create haste or fast put together. Let's just add money to the ones we have now. Let's not throw these first ones out and go create new ones that'll just confuse everyone and slow this down and create fraud. So I would like the next bill to include another check to the citizens, even though the 1,200 hasn't come out. I'd like to take unemployment from, I believe it was 4 months. Let's take it to 6. We did 6 during the Great Recession, so let's repeat that. Let's also keep the federal kicker of $600. Let's just keep that. Let's have the national shutdown as a part of this. And then most importantly, as we exit the 30 days, let's get ready for a $1 trillion infrastructure bill. But let's not just go rebuild the bridges and freeways and all of that. Let's try to tackle some other portions and think about the next 100 years. Because I think that's going to be important. We're going to need that extra incentive or that extra vehicle to employ people to get us out of this. An infrastructure bill of that size would create small companies from nothing, and we'd be able to go from that together. And then the question of the day I have for you, leave in the comments below, is I don't think there's any question that interjecting trillions of dollars into our economy is going to have an effect. I'm guessing when you look out 3 to 5 years, I think there's 3 potential choices, and I'm gonna do a separate video on this, sharing my thoughts. But you could have inflation. It's possible to have deflation, certainly in the short term, or is it the boogeyman of stagflation that's in our future? So what do you think? When you look at this, when you play out the entire chessboard, the economy of the United States, think about how life will be different after this. Oh, Josh got stagflation. All right. What do you see? Because it's going to be an important question, because when you look at inflation, deflation, stagflation, your investing options could be different. So I think we need to talk about that, because if you're making an investment decision, one of your considerations should absolutely be, am I seeing inflation, deflation, or stagflation in the future? Because each of those will require you to do something else. So at the end of the day, I was surprised. I don't know, not surprised. Yeah, surprised. Disappointed that the first thing I hear from Warren Buffett is he's a seller. That was not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for him to scoop up and pick up some of these national brands. I do think we're going to have get used to seeing thermometers and masks out there. JP Morgan, stop pressuring your workers to come in. That's not cool. B of A, 85,000 small businesses came in and applied for a loan, total of $22 billion, 22.2, or 250K each. So that's what I got for you this morning. Again, leave comments below. We've got one vote for stagflation already. What do you think? Inflation, deflation, or stagflation? Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.